YouTube podcast world. What's up, family? You know the name, man. Pays and Plays podcast here. We're gonna be giving y'all week 13, right? Week 13? Already week 13. Best bets 32, 15, and 3. Yes, I went all in on Seattle, as y'all seen some of the posts. Miami covered a -7. I also did alternative spread with -6.5. Didn't say it out loud, but who gives a shit? You knew I was still going with Miami. Who else did we pick? Pittsburgh. We saw how that went in best bet. So we lost Pittsburgh, but Seattle won, Philly won. Remember what I said, right? You take LA in the main line in the first quarter. Eagles still covered though. That who else did I have, bro? I'm kind of like blacking out right now, bro. Pittsburgh, Seattle, Miami, Philly. Okay, so I have 4 games. So we went 3-1. Well, as far as those games, but my bets, y'all seen it. I went, bro. You telling me I saw Seattle last minute? For some reason, I was at the crib, and I'm like, all right, I already got Miami -7 and 6.5 alternative. I saw that 6.5 alternative cash out option. It was like 100 something, whatever it was. I cashed that out and just threw all the rest of that on that Seattle when I saw plus 100. And I mean, look, number one in the division right now. Let's keep it up. Let's keep it up, boys. 2 more wins of that over win total prop hit. So looking pretty good on that. But let's start with the the Turkey Day games. And then we're gonna do the Black Friday, and then we'll drop right to the Sunday game. So, of course, the first game on Thursday, we got the Chicago Bears. The Bears traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Lions 10.5. Some books I'm seeing 11-point favorites. Bears to cover, Lions to win. But I think the bet will have to be the over 48.5. Now, last week I told you guys about the Lions game. Their situation against the Colts was to get in, get it out, right? What was it, 24-6, something like that? That's a clear-cut sign that it was just to get it in, get it out. Let's do what we got to do and leave. Now, I will say this, though. Were the Lions vulnerable in some situations? Yes. And I think with Caleb Williams, I rather would prefer him than AR at this moment. But a couple passes that AR missed, if he would have made like 3 or 4 passes, I mean, he was kind of inaccurate, bro. If he would have made that accurate, Colts would have made the game and probably would have had a better chance to win. But with the Bears, this is what I'm saying, bro. With the new OC change, they are moving the ball up and down the field a lot more better. It's crazy that I think I said Minnesota win and cover. I don't know what it was, but I don't know how the hell they went to overtime that quick. I just remember it was like a 27-17 game, something like that. Well, it was a 24-17 game, a 24-16 game. They went all that shit. But anyway, I see points being scored on both sides. Ford Field, we see the Lions run up 40, 50 burgers on teams. I just think in this situation, if the Bears score about 17 points, the Lions can at least score about 37, flirting with 37, flirting with 30, right? And even if the Bears flirt with 20, 48.5, I know it's a lot, but it's a 12-30 game. I know it's a lot, but I mean, this is a game I think Lions want to make a stand because let's be honest, even though Dan Campbell has been a winning coach for the Lions, he hasn't won a Thanksgiving game yet. And I know he wants to win a Thanksgiving game. So I'm going with the Lions to win, Bears to cover, but I definitely like the over 48.5 in that one. Next game, we got the New York Football Giants traveling to Dallas to take on the Cowgirls. Cowgirls 3.5-point favorites. I'm so close to want to make this a Turkey Day best bet because 3.5 with the Cowboys. This Giants team, bro. Everyone said it was just vibes for DeVito or even whatever the fuck his name is, Tommy DeVito. Nah, nah. I know the Cowboys don't have nothing to play for at this point either, but I'll take Cooper Rush over DeVito. I like what's his name? Is it Whittle? I like that running back for the Cowboys. So look into his rush attempt props. This Giants team get ran on. He is like the main priority running back. So I would either look at his attempts or look at his yards. I do think he gets it. And if you're looking at the Giants standpoint, maybe Neighbors and his yards, because we know Neighbors is like a possession receiver, bro. I think he's slowly becoming a modern day Julio. He'll get you a whole bunch of yards. Touchdowns would be a little iffy, but he'll get you the yards you need. And what about Tracy Jr., the running back for the Giants? I think a very underrated pickup. I think that I mean, to beat Saquon, right? To replace Saquon with him, obviously is not the same talent, but I think he's the only reason why this offense is slowly trying to move the ball with Neighbors. So look at Tracy at his yards prop. If it's anywhere under like 50 or maybe like a low 60, I would definitely consider that one. Next game for the Thursday night, we got the Miami Dolphins traveling to Green Bay to take on the frozen tundra Packers. Packers 3.5 point favorites. This one is tough. I went back and forth thinking about this one. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins to cover the 3.5 because of the hook. I think Green Bay wins this game though still. And as much as I talk about Miami, I said this is the team that can catch fire, and they have been catching fire lately, right? I will have to give them their props. I know Green Bay's they've been smooth. You beat up on the 49ers without Purdy. So yeah, I expected that, honestly. But Dolphins have something to play for, so they're going to be very competitive, man. This is the over under, I think, was 47 and a half. My mindset says under because I don't know how the weather's going to be at this time. And I know people say that don't really matter, but I mean, well, to a degree, it don't matter, right? Because the Pittsburgh Browns game went over and it was snowing like crazy in the second half. But it's just in this game, we know Miami just not really the team to play in those cold climates. So you got to think what is really cold to him, other than Tyreek Hill, who played at Kansas City, he can understand the cold. But I mean, listen, this is not going to be an easy game for the Packers because they're a wild card NFC team, just like the Dolphins right now is the AFC wild card team. So both of these teams is trying to prove themselves to get in. Does it hurt Green Bay if they lose? No. Does it hurt Miami if they lose? Not really, because they're not they're not in the same conference. I think Miami can go 9-8 and still make the playoffs, maybe 10-7. I think they're like, one of those situations, bro. I think they make playoffs because the Jets pretty much gave up, and then that's how I look at it. But yeah, I'm going with the Packers to win, Miami to cover. Next game, we got the Black Friday game, the only game on Amazon. So you already know how that is. You got the Las Vegas Raiders traveling to Kansas City, take on the Chiefs. Chiefs 12.5 point favorites. Y'all already know the regime, right? Chiefs to win, Raiders to cover. Should I really get more in details about this game? But I want to say this though. I mean, the Chiefs were, I mean, against the Panthers, right? And I just want to like piggyback on that game. I feel like watching that game, you saw how Mahomes, when it got tied up out of nowhere. I mean, you know, just gonna say it like that. It got tied up, and he found a way to make sure they can have an opportunity to win the game. It makes sense now why Buffalo went for 4th and 2. It makes 100% sense because now look what I mean. You know what Mahomes is able to do. And I know it was against a lower ranker team, but still. But with the Raiders, I don't know if Desmond Ritter's supposed to be playing. So if Desmond Ritter's supposed to be playing, I don't think they cover this game. The more I think about it, because people who know me, they know how much I don't like Desmond Ritter, bro. And I saw his last drive when they played Denver the other day, and they gotta look fucking awful. So, like I said, I got Chiefs to win, Raiders to cover, but how confident I am on the Raiders to cover? Not really. Next game, we got the LA Chargers traveling to Atlanta. This is the Sunday games we're talking about now. You got Chargers minus 1.5 point favorites. Make this a best bet. Y'all know I'm going with the Chargers to win and cover. Y'all know this, right? I didn't bet them last night. No, I didn't. I wanted to, and y'all saw how that went down. This team's gonna bounce back against Atlanta, bro. The more physical team, the more tough team. I know Harbaugh already is already ripping one on him right now about that performance last night. We know Lamar Jackson's Lamar Jackson though, so you have to respect that. But Kirk Cousins, I don't. Come on, bro. This Atlanta team has no pass rush, and I don't know how they're going to stop Herbert. They can somewhat handle the run, but they can't stop the pass. I know Quentin Johnson had a bad game, but we already hear from Herbert. We know it's going to be some optimism heading into next week. Uh, uh, when they cover these 1.5 type numbers, when you see the Chargers, they don't just cover, bro. They usually just blow you the hell out. Other than that Cincinnati game, so make this the best bet for me. I know it's on the road, West Coast team to the Eastern Standard Time zone, but that didn't matter when I picked Seattle against Atlanta, right? So make that the best bet for me. Chargers -1.5. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. Patriots +2.5 point underdogs. I got the Patriots to win and cover. Yes, I listen, and I know everyone's gonna bounce back from week to week and see what happened. But bro, we know Miami, bro, New England struggles at Miami traditionally, even when Brady was there. So like sometimes you just have to go with that narrative. The Colts, bro, AR is so inaccurate. If he's inaccurate in the dome, how the hell can you be accurate outside? Like, I mean, this New England team is not as bad as people are advertising. Are they young? Yes. Are they trying to figure things out? Yes. I just realized that Jabril Peppers was on the exempt list. I don't know what the hell happened, but I just found that out. But anyway, though, I know Drake May is a ultimate playmaker, and Ramon Stevenson, they can run. But listen, this Patriots team isn't bad. They're young, but I mean, I'm just not taking AR over anybody right now. I mean, unless it's Desmond Ritter, I'm not taking nobody over him. So I'll be going with the Patriots, and it's so tempting making the best bet because I know the only thing about this that stags me is that towards the end of this year, the teams that we know ain't going nowhere within the top five of the drive or top 10 in the drive. Some of those teams just start to lose because we know what they're doing. But I got to go with the Patriots to win and cover. I think they are actually trying to win because they got a quarterback. So what are they trying to tank for? That's how I look at it. Next game, we got the Houston Texans traveling to Jacksonville. Duval take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars 4.5 point underdogs. Jags to cover, Texas to win. Not too much science, bro. Texas had no reason losing to Tennessee. So I really, I mean, the sophomore slump is real. And I know everyone talks about CJ Stroud, but realize the last few weeks, bro, I wouldn't hear nobody talk about him like that. Like I said, the sophomore slump is real, and it's okay because it happens to most players. It happens. I did try to warn you guys before the beginning of the season that don't have too many expectations, high expectations, because this team is still a younger team trying to figure out how to win. New coach, second year coach, D'Amico, he's trying to figure it out how to be a coach now. Now that the talent has been not only better, but the wins have showed up. So you expect the bumpy rides here and there. They win this game against Jacksonville. I know Jacksonville keeps it competitive against Houston a lot. That's really the catch. So I'm going with the Jags to cover, but give me Houston to win. Next game, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the New York Jets. Jets +1.5 point underdogs. Make this one of the best bet for me. You already know I'm going with Seattle. Now I got Seattle Sunday night last week before week 12 games. So yeah, when I was up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, looking at numbers still, I happened to see Seattle. I got Seattle for like -102. Yes, on the money line. People thought for some reason the Jets was the favorite, which they were. They were +1.5. So I'm like, if Seattle wins this game against Arizona as confident as I was, and they did, I figured the line was going to change. So I still would take them at 1.5 as a favorite. But I also, like I said, but the problem with the Jets, they had a bye week, but I'm sure you guys heard the news, right? Joe Douglas is fired. You hear Woody Johnson talking about Aaron Rodgers should have been benched after week 4, week 5. And now you hear that A-Rod wants to play, but he don't want to play with the Jets. So now there's a lot of problems, bro. And this is what I say the turmoil of the Jets was just starting to show. For one, like I said, there's no coaching, there's no chemistry. There wasn't really a lack of sense of urgency, and that's probably why this team went down the crap. While Miami is slowly still going up in that division. Seahawks, on the other hand, you started off 3-0, perfect. Then you lost what, 4 games in a row, 3 games, 4 games in a row. Now you're up 2 games in a row, number one in the NFC West. Coaching. This is what I'm saying, is coaching. I know McDonald is a new coach, but you know, Ubrich, I know he's the interim guy, but this is what I'm saying when it comes to coaching. Like, I'm going to take McDonald on this one. You can run on this Jets team. This team doesn't, I mean, Sauce Gardner is starting to be non existent. I don't understand it, but like I keep saying, as long as DK plays, we know he's going to make plays. He's like week to week on certain injuries. Sometimes he wants to play, sometimes he don't. I almost feel like he wants to leave to a degree, but who the hell do I know? This Seahawks team, like I said, I'm not going to keep raving about it. We don't even know if A-Rod's going to play, right? Because we're already hearing that the speculations of them wanting to tank. So we'll figure that out. But I'm going with Seattle -1.5. Make it the best bet for me. Next game, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers travel to Cincinnati Bengals to take on the Bengals. Bengals 2.5 point favorites. Give me Pittsburgh to win and cover. If you're Cincinnati, what do you do in this situation? That's what I'm saying. What do you do? Because Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow can't do it all. T. Higgins is kind of half-assed, but that's ownership problems, right? This ownership never wants to pay players. You see why all these players they had in their years, you know, the Ocho Cincos of the world, the TJ Huzmanzados, who actually 7th round pick guy, but you know, panned out to do good and went to Baltimore and still did good. They don't pay these type of guys. Carson Palmer, look what happened with him. They just don't pay these type of guys, and you have to, and they don't even win at home. I mean, the only game they won, I believe, was the Raiders at home. So, what is that really telling me? Pittsburgh, yeah, I know they lost that dumbass game, and I honestly, I don't even like that they got Russ playing because now they're doing this 2 quarterback switch in the middle of the game. This is why you should have kept with Justin Fields. This is why you should have stuck with one starter. But because Russ and Mike Tomlin had a little, you know how it goes, bro. I'm sure it was like, look, you're gonna come in, be the starter, do what you gotta do when you get that time. But that is the AFC North, man. It's so unpredictable. So I'm going with the Steelers with a slight upset underdogs. I think you can't trust them as a favorite. Not as a 3, 4, not on the road. But give me the underdog. You're talking about 2.5. That's a good one for me. Next game, we got the Tennessee Titans at the Washington, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call it the Washington football team. Football team is 5.5 point favorites. I want to lean towards Washington to win and cover, but you have to wonder with that Titans win against the Texans, is that any type of momentum? You know, are they going anywhere? We know they're not going anywhere, but we know Will Levis is trying to fight for his job. He had a great game against Houston, an amazing game against Houston. I mean, you can't really, there ain't nothing else really else to say about it. But Commander's been struggling. I mean, I think the problem right now, two problems. I think that Jane Daniels hasn't fully recovered from that rib injury. I don't think it's bruised ribs, broken ribs. It's one of those situations, but I know that's something that has to be healed naturally and normally. That's just not from, any special treatments. But is it me or is this Cliff Kingsbury offense back to being exposed? This is what Cliff Kingsbury used to do, right? We saw those years with Kyler Murray. They get hot, majority of the season, and then all of a sudden they get a little stagnant towards the end. Maybe you have to start to thinking, is that it? What they need to do is go back to doing, I saw a little bit of it when I watched some of that game against the Cowboys. They need to do some of that RPO action stuff. That stuff works, and I think they need to go back to doing that with the pass game. And I think they will be okay. This Titans defense is no joke, but let's not talk about the Titans defense. What about Tony Pollard putting up numbers he's been putting up? A very underrated running back this year. And listen, man, the stat line has been showing. So the Titans they're trying to be competitive. They're not just. I know they're 3-8, and nor the record at this point. Some of these players are trying to just like I said, they're just trying to fight for their jobs at this point because it's going to be some changeover next season. Next game, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Charlotte to take on the Carolina Panthers. Panthers plus 6.5 point underdogs. I'm leaning towards taking the Panthers to cover. That would be the pick if I'm leaning towards picking them. But Buccaneers win this game. I know Buccaneers play pretty much a cakewalk against the Giants, but this Panthers team, I watched I watched a little bit of the game and then I saw the little 15-minute highlights they show you. And the one thing that caught my eye was that Bryce Young is looking like QB1. I mean, it's crazy that they changed up how he's supposed. He's good when you do the little, play action fakes, the play, that's what he's good at doing. I saw that one play where he like did a play action fake, hit the little QB rollout, and he threw a dart. It was what sometime beginning of this season, sometime last season. He was scared to even do that type of stuff. So I think maybe him sitting back, getting benched, I think it benefited him a lot more than people think. And it shows because the last 4 games, I mean, they won 2 games prior in a row, and then they were very competitive in the 2 games they lost since he's been back. So I mean, and Canales understands Tampa. I believe they covered the first game, if I'm not mistaken. So 6.5 at home. If it first to 7, if it goes north of 6.5, but we might have to take Carolina on that one, buddy. Next game, we got the LA Rams traveling to New Orleans, take on the Saints. Magnolia, you got Saints 2.5 point underdogs. Rams to win the cover. This Saints team, I mean, they won 2 in a row. But if this Rams team wants to get into the playoff situation and maybe win the NFC West, you got to win a game like this. This is a game you have to win. They got to rely on that run game. You can run on the Saints. You couldn't really run that much on the Eagles. That's probably why they got stagnant to only 10 points. But run the rock against the Saints, man. And when Stafford has that little time he has, throw the rock. What I do like about this Rams team, though, Verse and Frisk. So they DN and they D tackle they drafted this year is already making huge impacts. You could argue maybe the 2 best players on defense, but I'm still picking in the Rams to win cover though. Next game, we got the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a good one right here. Traveling to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Ravens 2.5 point favorites. This one is so hard, bro, because I went back and forth. I went back and forth really thinking about this one. I'm going with the Ravens to win and cover. My theory kind of goes to what I say about that first quarter money line scenarios against Philly. I tell you what, the Ravens dropped 13, 14 points in the first quarter. How the hell do you come back that quick? I mean, 50.5, I think it's the over under. I want to lean under towards bad because I think it can be a blowout either way. If Baltimore wins this game, they're going to blow them out, and I see. And would that really harm Philly? No, because they're still a division leader in their division, and I mean Baltimore is Baltimore. So this game here, I can't really pick a side. I'm not going to bet this game, but I'm going to say Baltimore to win and cover because it's at home. I'm going to give it a benefit of the doubt when you play at Baltimore. It is tough. But this one is hard, bro. This is the one where you just want to watch the game. You don't even want to do nothing. You just want to sit back and watch the game and analyze. And that's what I probably will do in this game. So my next thought though is Ravens to win and cover. Final 2 games, and we'll be done. We got Sunday Night Football though. San Francisco 49ers at the Buffalo Bills. Bills 6.5 point favorites. Give me the Bills to win. 49ers to cover. I'm not too sure if Brock Purdy plays. I don't know the speculations about it. I think that's why that number is kind of high. If you think he's going to play, take it now. Because if they announce he's playing, you know this number's dropping from 6.5 to maybe what, 4.5, possibly 3.5, maybe by kickoff. I mean, it's not too much science about this game, bro, because I don't really like the 49ers this year. And the Bills, I mean, at Buffalo, bro, I don't see you beating the team at Buffalo, bro. It's that's just how I look at this game, man. So and it's a Sunday night football game, so this is why I stay caution. Like I said, my initial thought those 49ers to cover, but you have to hope Brock Purdy plays this game because if it's Brandon Allen or Braylon, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't see this game being close. This may be a complete shit show by the half. And lastly, don't really like this one, but I get why they did it. You got the Cleveland Browns at the Denver Broncos. Broncos 5.5 point favorites. I really want to say Broncos to win and cover because I think everybody's going to go to the Browns because they said, "Oh, look what they did against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's a playoff contending team." I mean, yeah, but the real home field advantage, I always say in the NFL, is definitely Denver, Colorado. You're playing in 5 to 6,000 feet above sea level. If these are athletes though, so I expect them to hydrate themselves right. But I also kind of piggyback from last season looking at this matchup. Browns. I think that was a Sunday night football game last year where Cleveland went over to Denver. This is where Russell Wilson was in Denver, and Denver blew him the hell out. I think the quarterback I think it was Dory Thompson. I know J-Mo was a little better though, so I mean, I'm not going to sit there and doubt that. But 5.5. I don't really like that number, but like I said, I see everybody going towards Cleveland because Cleveland has, they've already, they beat Pittsburgh. That's what the narrative is probably going to be. But in all, though, the Broncos are the better team. They are the better coach team too, minus Myles Garrett. We know Myles Garrett is just Myles Garrett. But this week, looking at this one, teasers. Um, you know what? I don't have a teaser for this one. These lines are trash. But I just asked you guys, man. I know it's Thanksgiving coming up. Man, just thankful to be up another day. Thankful every week coming on here giving you guys locks. That's what I'm thankful for. Giving you guys locks. I'm sure as hell there's somebody right now that's probably already going to the grocery store getting some turkeys, whatever, from watching this channel. Every week, other than one week, I can sit there and say, we didn't win money. Right. So this is week 13. At least about 12, at least about 11 weeks out of this season, you won some money with me. Hit the like button, man. Subscribe, pass the word around. We're already, like I said, we're at 32, 15, and 3. Last season, we were at 27 and 16 to finish the whole season. So we're already 5 games past the win total from last season. And more bets have been placed. We're talking about too, right? So 68 winning percentage. I'm not making this up. You guys know me. You can follow my Instagram page, Pays and Place _podcast. I'm available on TikTok. I am available on anything you get your platforms from. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. I'm on it. YouTube. I'm also on the podcast version. So if you don't want to see the visually, I got it also on audio for you guys. I try to do everything I can and make sure I can, platform this. My best bets will always be on YouTube Shorts and TikTok because I think that's where the most views come from. Just gonna say it. Shout out to TikTok though, because now I used to have a lot of haters wondering why I pick what I pick. Now it's no comments. Now it's all likes. So that kind of tell you there's the indicator there too. But yeah, man, I hope you guys are all right, all well, man. I might have something special for y'all coming up. If we can hit 100 subs, I might do a giveaway. I might give y'all like a $50 on a bet or whatever. Put everybody in the name and rotate it. We need to get to 100 subs. We're at 86, so we're 14 away, right? And the season's still going on. So as always, man, let's get this bread out here and let's be safe.